7 days and exactly 1 week to election 2020. Hello and welcome to Election Brief with me, Araba Kumson. Coming up in this edition, Electoral Commission assures its readiness for the polls as it details its preparedness ahead of tomorrow's special voting. We'll hear from the EC boss, who is defending the Commission's decision to announce the results of the 2020 election in 24 hours.
All is set for the special voting tomorrow, Tuesday, the 1st of December. To date, our officers have been recruited and trained, and they stand in readiness to deliver a smooth and seamless and peaceful and orderly process.
Also, a police investigator with the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters tells an Accra High Court that forensic analysis carried out by the Israel Forensic Science Unit has identified NDC National Chairman Samuel Ofusampofo as the person heard in a leak tape planning to a roadmap of criminal activities targeted at national security operatives, Election Commission officials, among others. Also, thousands of NDC supporters marching through principal streets of Accra call on Ghanaians to ensure change on December 7. We have more on the march, which was to honor the late former President Jerry John Rawlings. And later, the politics of prophecies. We bring you details of our latest Hotline documentary on the impact of predictions by men of God in election seasons.
You use school fees there to be electricity, no, they are
now let's go into the election. Doesn't all happen. Election way. This election.
Brief is live on all our platforms, including My Joy Online and Facebook. On YouTube, it is live on JoyNews TV. As always, this program is supported by Petrosol as well as Cowbell Coffee. Stay tuned in. Thanks again for your time. Now, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, has been defending the Commission's decision to declare the results of the 2020 presidential election within 24 hours. According to her, it will help diffuse tension in the country. The opposition NDC had raised some issues with that announcement by the EC. According to the party, it may not be possible to declare the election within that time frame. While speaking at a news conference in Accra a while ago to brief the nation of its preparedness ahead of tomorrow's special voting, Jean Mensah said they have trained their officials to deliver within that timeline.
Nothing secret about the work that the Commission does. And the question we should ask ourselves is, would we rather have the elections declared after 1 week? I think ordinarily the intention of declaring elections is to really minimize tension. After all, if you have the results, why sit on it? Why wait on the results when you have the results? We all know that our media houses have in the past been able to, present the results within some 10 hours of the poll. And so if you put in place systems to ensure that you receive the results on time, why the panic? I think the panic should rather be if the EC says it will declare the elections after 1 week, then we should be panicking. But if you're bringing in efficiency and allaying the fears and suspicions of persons, I think that this should be commended and encouraged. And rather, we should all work together to achieve this. I think it's a very simple process. Our processes still remain virtually manual, and the EC is not engaging in some complex electronic transmission of results to enable us to achieve that. It's still a very simple process.
Meanwhile, the Commission says all is set for tomorrow's special voting. Chairperson Jean Mensah says voting materials have been distributed in sufficient quantity to all selected voting centers, including COVID materials.
All is set for the special voting tomorrow, Tuesday, the 1st of December. To date, our officers have been recruited and trained, and they stand in readiness to deliver a smooth and seamless and peaceful and orderly process. All materials necessary have been distributed in sufficient quantities, and this includes the COVID materials. The COVID-19 protocols will be put in place. Stringent COVID-19 protocols will be put in place and observed. The biometric verification devices have been prepared and deployed. As a commission, we expect a near 100% turnout, and we are confident that the outcomes will be peaceful, credible, orderly, seamless, and transparent, God being our helper. As the good book states, a horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from God.
My colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson has sat through that press conference. He joins me in studio now with more. Parker, she's also been refuting allegations that the commission prevented some security men and media men from being added to the special voters register.
Well, that's correct. That's correct, because the NDC had alleged, and a security analyst, Adam Bonner, have all alleged that the Electoral Commission deliberately took out names of some security personnel detailed to monitor the election 2020. And today the EC denied the claims that there was a genuine mistake on the part of the security agency. Some of the lists they submitted did not have the correct details, and so tracing them became a problem. She had to even follow up on some of the issues with the IGP in order to get some top security officials to be included into the special voting list. And so there was never a deliberate attempt by the Electoral Commission to disenfranchise. It was just an oversight
on their part.
Exactly. And
that
even
has
the media
been resolved
as well.
Now.
Well, that has been resolved, but the point she made was that some were resolved, others too were not. So they've had a conversation with the IGP and the security couples that those who might not be able to vote tomorrow, there will be a special arrangement for them so that at least during the December 7, maybe they can put them where they are expected to vote so that they vote at the polling station, then they are there to protect the ballot and also provide security as well. So these are some of the things that the Electoral Commission put across. And of course, the media as well. Yeah. Some of them too also did not have their names captured. I've
had some of my colleagues complaining and saying they haven't seen their names on the special votes.
Exactly. Again, there were other explanations to it. The Electoral Commission says that we submitted to them a hard copy and later also submitted a supplementary list, which was via a soft copy. Okay. Now, the commission was under the impression that the soft copy was the same as the hard copy. And so they had to discard the hard copy and focus on the soft copy. Oh. Unfortunately for us, the hard copy contained a number of media houses and or journalists who were supposed to vote during the special voting that is tomorrow. Right. But unfortunately, the soft copy just contained a few, so tomorrow as well, just a few media outlets will go in to do the special voting. So that explanation has been made as well. Okay. And again, there were concerns about missing names from the register. Yes. The EC addressed that as well, and she indicated that some individuals during the exhibition exercise could not locate their names in the register, but they had their voters' ID. Right. They have reconciled all the lists, and indeed, they have come to the conclusion that the voters' ID they carry or they hold is a valid one, and so they have created a special list as well for them at their various polling stations. Okay. So where there are issues like that, these individuals, when they go to their polling station, though their names will not be on the main register, but on the special register that we've created for these individuals. And she also admonished every Ghanaian to go to the EC's website to check their details and validate their information. She says it's up there at on their website. And so if you want to know whether you're voting on December 7th, that is just next week, Monday, you have to make an effort to go to EC's website and cross-check whether your name, has been captured there.
Fine, I can check my name on the website. What about those who don't have access to online services? I mean, those in the rural areas who may want to check their name but don't have access to online. Has any provision been made for them?
Well, there's a charge to them to go to the district officers.
Okay.
If you can't, you're not tech savvy in a way, just go to your district office. Okay. The district officers will assist you to check or validate your information on their website.
Okay, all right. Many thanks. Kwesi Parker was in there with details from that Electoral Commission press conference, which just ended a while ago. Now, a police investigator with the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters, Detective Chief Inspector Beckham, has told an Accra High Court that forensic analysis carried out by the Israel Forensic Science Institute has identified NDC National Chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo as the person heard in a leaked tape planning a roadmap of criminal activities targeted at national security operatives, chairperson of the Electoral Commission, among many others. He said the report places the probability that the voice is that of the politician at 90%, leading the experts to conclude that it cannot be the voice of another person. He explained to the court that the experts carefully analyzed how certain words were pronounced in two audios which were compared. National chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, and a member of the party's communication team, Kweku Boahen, they're both standing trial for conspiracy to assault a public officer and assault of a public officer. Let's go on the line and speak to court correspondent Joseph Akable for more on this. Joseph, so there were many who were not in doubt about the possibility of the voice being Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo's own. So what additional information to back this claim that it is his voice did the court offer? All right, we're trying to reach Joseph on the line. Do we have Joseph now? Joseph, if you can hear me, the question I'm asking is that many people were not in doubt about the possibility that this voice belonged to Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo. So what I'm asking is, did the court, the detective, give any additional information to back his claim that this was his voice? All right, we don't have Joseph on the line, but you're still watching Election Brief. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back after this. You're welcome back to Election Brief. Let's go back to our earlier story where a police detective has been telling an Accra High Court that the voice heard on a lead tape is actually that of NDC Chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo. Court correspondent Joseph Akable is on the line with more details. So what more information has the detective been giving to the court?
The source of the two audios that were compared, at the first being the leaked tape, and the second, he says, was an address that the NDC chairman delivered shortly after being interrogated at the police headquarters. And so he took the two audios and sent it to the institute for them to analyze them. And lawyers for Mr. Ampofo raised an objection saying that since the investigator did not alter the report should not be accepted by the court, but the court took the view that one is the one who had sent the two audios to the institute, asking the institute to listen and compare and give him a report on what exactly the two audios do. And the court said he was therefore pleased to present the report to the court. He explained to the court that the audio compared how the individuals sound in the two audios. It also looked at the pronunciation of words, aside from looking at the fact that whether it could be the same individual or not. And the conclusion is that by a probability of 90%, it is the same person heard on the two tapes, leading the court to accept the audios as well as the forensic report which was submitted to the court. The other issue that came up has to do with Kweku Boahen, who is also standing trial. He had said that he was not in Accra during the meeting, even though there was another audio where he granted an interview to Asta Station FM, where he had said that he was in that particular meeting. The police investigator said he went to the Ashanti region where he said he was at that time. He interrogated some individuals and said that some of the hotels where Mr. Boahen was said to have spent the night and did not find any records of him coming over to the hotel. He said he compiled the report and submitted it to the Attorney General's office, a copy of which lawyers for Mr. Ampofo say they are yet to receive. And so the court adjourned proceedings to a date to be fixed later on to enable that report to be finished to the lawyers before the trial can proceed.
Interesting details there. But quickly, before you go, Joseph, was Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo himself in court?
Yes, he was present in court. He sat down quietly all due proceedings as at the point was being made, I was his voice on the audio. He just kept looking up and turned away from the investigators and when he was speaking and making reference to him.
All right. Many thanks for those updates. That's court correspondent Joseph Akable there. Now, the chairman of the Ahafo Regional Peace Council, Most Reverend Peter Echiahene, has attributed the youth's involvement in election violence to survival instinct. Ahafo region has many flashpoints, including Sankore in the Esunofo South constituency. The Catholic Bishop of Goso says some people are emotionally attached to political parties and are ready to cause chaos in a bid to win power to help them secure jobs. Speaking to JoyNews after the inauguration of the Ahafo Regional Peace Council in Goso, Most Reverend Echiahene said political parties must allow cool heads to prevail as the council works with the security agencies to safeguard the peace even after the December general elections. Correspondent Precious Semavo has more.
Ahafo region over the years has recorded some political violence, raising concerns going into the 7th December elections. As of October 2020, the Ghana Police Service had identified 80 hotspots in the new region's 6 constituencies. Notable areas include Sankore, Hwidiem, and Goso. At the inauguration of the Ahafo Regional Peace Council at Goso, various speakers stressed the need for all stakeholders, especially the political parties, working to ensure an incident-free election whilst allowing the laws of the land to deal with troublemakers. Catholic Bishop of Goso and Chairman of the Ahafo Regional Peace Council, Most Reverend Peter Echiahene, attributes the survival instinct to some of the election violence. He, however, appealed for cool heads among the political actors, whilst the council collaborates with the security services to safeguard the region's peace.
The way people are connected to political parties, so emotional about them, sometimes overruns the way they profess their faith in God. But probably it may also be coming from some of the leaders of our political parties. There are some who get themselves so attached to these political parties because they are jobless and they want to find something for themselves. So they want their parties to come to power so they can get something to sustain themselves. I think it's a kind of a survival instinct that lead people to do most of the things that they do. For us, it's just a way of talking, trying to relate and make sure that they will let cool heads prevail so that the people that they want to come and rule over are intact when they come to power. So we will be talking and we hope that they will listen to us.
The Ghana Police Service said they have worked hard for the safety of all and will not hesitate to deal with individuals or groups who will seek to jeopardize the peace being enjoyed. ASP Andrews Boadu Ekuma is the Ahafo Deputy Police Commander.
Ahafo region is noted to be one of the chaotic areas when it comes to elections. Esunofo South, Esutifo South, and probably Tano South. These are the areas that normally on our records we have the flashpoints. For the police, we have taken the whole region as fresh area. With the stakeholders' consultations and the meetings that we have had with them, we believe that they will take our word. But if anybody wants to take us for ransom, the security services will not give them that opportunity. We are prepared and will make sure that this year's election become very peaceful.
The members of the Ahafo Regional Peace Council were sworn in by Circuit Court Judge His Lordship Charles Echampon. For JoyNews, Precious Semavo, Goso.
All right, we stay on election violence because 9 people will be arraigned later after one person was injured and several properties damaged last night after a clash between supporters of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress in the Yagaba Kubori constituency. Crime officer for the area, Superintendent Ruben Duga, has been given details on News Desk.
I'm actually the target. And they ambushed me in Tantala, where my opponent comes from. That is his village, and certainly that is a stronghold. We went there to talk to our people, and we were attacked verbally, and we went to make a complaint to the chief of Tantala. And when we made the complaint, even during the attack, there was one gentleman who was telling them that what they were doing was not good. And when we went to the chief's palace to complain, somebody identified them and told them the one who was even telling them to stop what they were doing was not good is the brother of my opponent. The chief said, fine, you people should calm down, go to the place and do your rally, talk to the people. I will send some of my representatives to come and be part of it. So the representatives came and sought to talk to the people. We gave them the mic. They spoke to the people and advised them. After the advice, we went ahead to do our rally. And as it was going on, we saw pillars of stones being thrown on us. And definitely that was not the beginning. And the people, I just told them they should pack and we go home. That ended the rally because I said there was no way we could come and they would be attacking us. So we should go home. I said that. And as we were packing, there was a fight between our people and their people. And I managed to get everybody in my side and my team on the vehicles. And as we were leaving, they thought the vehicle I was using. I was very lucky that I wasn't using that vehicle myself. So they targeted and shot at the driver's side because knowing very well that I was the one driving the vehicle. It penetrated the windscreen and hit the driving wheel. We're very, very lucky that I didn't hit anybody. And then we came. When we came, I drove straight to my house, sat down and was pondering on what to do. I called the district commander and informed them this is what is happening. I said my people should go and make a complaint. So they went to make the complaint. Actually, it is undesirable event, and I think that we have to look at it critically.
So that's rather the MP, incumbent MP for Yagaba Kubori. He's Ibrahim Abdul Rauf Tanko there speaking, giving his perspective of what happened. And we earlier heard from the police who say that 9 people will be arraigned. They'll be taken to court. As you know, 1 person has been severely injured. 4 others have sustained various degrees of injuries. And we'll keep an eye on this. Stay with us here on your election headquarters. And now, as some security personnel prepare to vote in tomorrow's special voting exercise, former President John Dramani Mahama is asking them to vote to return the NDC to power. Watch.
Ahoya. Ahoya. Greetings to the gallant personnel of our security services. As we prepare to participate in the special voting exercise ahead of the presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled for December 7, 2020, I urge you not to despair. I encourage you to hope and vote John Mahama for a prosperous Ghana that shares opportunities for all. As your former Commander-in-Chief, I'll continue to respect and cherish your patriotic contributions to our dear nation. We all know the current sad state of affairs in our beloved country. The living conditions of Ghanaians continue to worsen. Economic hardship is the order of the day, yet this government has turned out to be the most corrupt in the history of our Fourth Republic. I make a commitment to the security services that come January 7th, 2021, God willing, under my administration, we will not only ensure depoliticization of the security services, but also restore both discipline and transparency to raise morale. This is my solemn pledge to create opportunities for you and not just a few. Ahoya. Ahoya.
Number 2, economic calamity.
You're welcome back to Election Brief. And over the last few weeks, there have been several researches and polls on how the electorate will vote. We'll bring you a report on that. Watch this and we'll be right back.
In October this year, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development published its pre-election survey, which sampled 2,400 Ghanaian adults. According to the survey, nearly 9 in 10 of the respondents indicated their readiness to vote in the upcoming election, signaling a potentially high voter turnout. Although this survey fell short on predicting a winner for the upcoming polls, it gave signals. According to CDD, the governing NPP rates higher in public confidence than the NDC with a 15-point lead. Shortly after that, pollster and editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, Ben Efson, projected President Akufo-Addo will win a second term with 52.6%, as against John Maham's 45.7%. Although Mr. Efson has not published his full methodology and other variables of his research yet, he indicated the respondents were sampled from the Greater Accra, Central and Western regions. Only last week, the University of Ghana's Political Science Department released its survey, whose outcome generated huge controversy. The survey, in which 11,949 respondents were interviewed, said the NPP's presidential candidate will win with a 51.7% lead. John Mahama is expected to follow with 40.4% of the votes. What surprised many was the revelation that Ghana Union Movement will place third. According to the researchers, the respondents said they will vote based on campaign messages. Over the weekend, a survey conducted by online pollsters, iPoll, on the policies, parties and the choices of respondents surveyed 670 people, most of who indicated that the NDC has the best plans on the economy compared to the NPP. When asked who they will vote for, 49% of the respondents said they will vote for the NDC and John Mahama, whilst 46% said they will vote President Akufo-Addo and the NPP. This means that none of the two parties crossed the constitutionally required 50% and one vote to win, hence a presidential runoff. Yet another research conducted this time by the Governance Research Bureau predicted that the December 7th poll may not produce a winner, as none of the candidates is expected to poll more than 50% of the votes. Based on its analysis of the EC certified results since 1992 and the 2020 voters register, the Bureau estimated that the NPP's Nana Akufo-Addo will poll 49.19%, whilst NDC's John Mahama will take 48.27%, while other parties will make do with 2.54%.
I don't think the prediction or whatever people are saying might change my view of voting. For me, I think it's a political influence. Some of them, they belong to a particular party, but they don't show up themselves for people to know.
It can reflect, but I don't think it is going to reflect, because it's just political propaganda I think they are doing, but I don't think it can really reflect that much. For me, I don't think but it can affect people, because some people may think people are saying Nana Addo is going to win, so unfortunately they'll go in for that without so for them to say they won't spoil their votes.
It's not a matter of somebody predict current government will win or whoever is even contesting will also win. Until the vote comes, I don't even follow that issue they are talking about. It will never, because I know where I'm standing. If I'm going to vote, even from the day one from January, I know this is election year, I know where I'll go and vote.
Some of them are not objective enough, right? And because their objectivity cannot be ascertained, I don't trust in them so much.
Yes, the prediction they have come out is going to reflect, simply because the plans on the ground is good. This government have done a lot. It's not going to affect my voting at all.
So you heard the views of some electorate on the polls that have been conducted over the last few weeks. And speaking of researches and polls on how the electorates will vote, your election headquarters will tonight unveil the most fascinating predictor yet of the 2020 polls. We've heard from the NGOs, we've heard from academia, political groupings and pollsters. And it is time to hear from your election headquarters. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, joins me in studio. So, Evans, the anticipation is building. Since last week when we put out the flyer, people have been asking, what are we going to put out? What should people expect?
I mean, so this is the research done by the IRIS Research Consortium, made up of people like Dr. Tue Champo and his colleagues. A lot of them who work in various established civil society groups from CDD, etc., and Imani as well, will come together to do this research. Now, this is unique from all the other polls that we've seen already. This sort of research was done in the swing constituencies, like just about 30 of them. Okay. I mean, but spread evenly across the country.
All right.
The reason why it's interesting that the swing constituencies, they are swing because they vote for the winner all the time.
Right.
Or most of the time.
Right. So they determine who the winner is.
So if you want to poll people, it is one of the places you need to go to sort of get a sentiment of what is going to happen.
Right.
And the results, I haven't seen it all, but the briefings I've received, because we want to keep this close, and I want to be surprised on the show myself. It's fascinating. I mean, you see part of the outcome confirming some of the polls before, but some of the outcome will also disagree with some of the outcomes as well because of the unique nature of the analysis and the places they send the researchers to poll and ask people about various questions. And obviously the main question that people are looking for is there something in there that tells you who's going to win the elections? I would say tune in at 9 p.m.
Okay, but you talked about the fact that this was carried out in the swing constituencies.
Yeah.
We know that the central region and the Greater Accra region have constituencies which swing.
Yeah.
So these were two regions that were where the surveys were conducted.
In fact, the truth is every region has a swing constituency.
Okay.
Every region has, I mean, varying degrees of it. If you want to really look at the 2016 poll, 2012-2016 poll, you are talking about an excess of 60 swing constituencies. In other words, constituencies that in 2012, they voted for one person. In 2016, they voted for a different person, right, in those two elections. And it's a total of more than 60 of them. And so everywhere you go, there are constituencies that, every region you go, there are constituencies that swing. So what they did is to say, nationally, let's select these key constituencies everywhere, including Central and Greater Accra, Bono, Bono now is 3 parts now, and Western, which is now 2 parts, that's in the Western North and the Western region.
Right.
And speak to people there and see, what the dynamics are in these areas that constantly, vote for the person who eventually wins the presidential.
All right. Many thanks, Evans Mensah. Evans Mensah is head of our help desk here at your election headquarters. Hello?
Give me the political desk.
Okay, all right. I can't wait. And that will air on PM Express, which comes up tonight at 9 p.m. on your JoyNews channel. All right, you're still here with me on Election Brief. We are going for a short break. Don't go away. You're welcome back to Election Brief with me, Arba Kumson. Thousands of NDC supporters have been marching through principal streets of Accra, calling on Ghanaians to ensure change on December 7. The march was to honor late former President Jerry John Rawlings. Organizers say the walk is to reignite the virtues of probity and accountability, which the former president preached about. Benjamin Akapo was with them and has come through with this report.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the Obra spot, which is actually the scene of the probity and accountability march that the NDC, the major minority party, is organizing today. Now, right behind me, if you look into the crowd, I mean, it's a lot of people who are here gathered. It's a rapturous scene, and if I'm not mistaken, hundreds, if not thousands of people are gathered here today. Earlier shots we took, I mean, a whole lot of excited party faithful who have descended on the Obra spot, and they are here talking about probity and accountability, and they are saying they are actually disappointed in the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency the President. Now, if you look at some of these placards here, some of them unprintable words, but This one says Ejabwani criminals. The other one, yeah, GNCK, which is one of the focal, points as far as this march is concerned. This one says Sakawa government. The other one, Ekufuado, is corrupt and more. Ekufuado is this and that, a nation wrecker. So those are some of the placards being held here. If you just look right above the bridge, you would see the heavy security presence that is over there. So a heavy security presence, the military here in full force, ensuring that everything goes according to plan, that things do not get out of order. Now, I tried getting some of the NDC national and regional executives. Apparently, the likes of Greater Accra Regional Chairman for the NDC, Adekoka, is on his way here. The likes of the National Deputy Youth Organizer, Edem Agbana, is also en route. But currently, we have here with us the parliamentary candidate. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Shirley Ayoko Botwe. I'm talking about Emmanuel Adote Alote. He is the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Anya Sotum. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, that's true. But my contender is not Shirley Ayoko Botwe. She didn't contest this time around. It's a different person.
Right. Thanks for the correction. Now, please go ahead. So, in organizing this march and everything that is going on, what is the feeling? What is the brain behind all of this?
Thank you very much. Let me extend greetings to everyone who is watching or listening to JoyNews this morning. Yes, this walk, it's in memory of our late founder, Jerry John Rawlings. And we are trying to let everyone in Ghana understand what it means by probity and accountability. And that's the theme of the walk this morning. And we are just asking everyone that they should join. This is not only for NDC. Rawlings is for the whole country, the whole Ghana. So we're asking everyone, wherever you are this morning, you can rush to Obrasport and join us as we work to demand accountability from this current government. You know what is going on. The PDS, the Japan deal and all. I mean, every day and age scandal. So we are asking everyone to work, because I believe if Rawlings were to be alive, he would not be able to see to allow all this to happen. So we want whatever it is now to see that we are still living his legacy, we are still living his dream of ensuring probity and accountability and social justice in our communities. And that is why we have organized this work this morning.
How many people are you looking forward to seeing trooping in here today?
Frankly speaking, we are expecting thousands of people, because this work is for the entire Greater Accra region. We have about 34 constituencies, so we are expecting thousands of people from all the constituencies to come here. So ideally, we are expecting over 300,000 people.
All right, let's hit the campaign trail now with 7 days, exactly a week to the December 7 elections. The presidential candidates of the two major parties are wasting no time in whipping up support. President Ekufuado is in the Ashanti region, his home base, where his popular support is. Let's go on the line and speak to Elton Brobe, who was with the team. Elton, bring us up to speed on the president's campaign there. All right, we are unable to reach Elton right now. Let's cross over to the NDC campaign. We do know that former President John Dramani Mahama is in the Savannah region. Earlier, he was in the northern region. He's now in the Savannah region. Maxwell Agbagba is with him. Do we have Maxwell on the line?
Yeah. Hello, Abba.
Hi, Maxwell. So bring us up to speed on Mr. Mahama's campaign. He's in Savannah region now, no?
Yes, he's in the Savannah region. Per schedule, we visited Salaga North and South, and then the Kumpuruku and Yoyo constituencies. Yesterday, it was Thursday, and many thought that they wouldn't be, doing any campaign or any active campaigning, but that was not the case. After he visited the Tamale Teaching Hospital and then the Tamale Teaching Hospital, he hit the ground again, and then visited the Damongo constituency and some other constituencies, in the Savannah region. Key among the things that he has been talking about is the program, especially in the northern region. And we observed that he's been talking about the national apprenticeship program more in the northern region of the region and some other parts that we've been to. He says that if the NDC is elected into power, they will implement the national apprenticeship program to make sure that for women who leave the north, northern part of Ghana to the southern part to come and engage in the headquarter business, the KAI business, they would stop it by using the National Apprenticeship Program. He says that he believes that if these people are given the needed skills and are given the needed equipment that they can work with, the needed logistics, they will not move to southern Ghana to come and be laboring in southern Ghana, but they would work, in the northern part and then help develop themselves and their families as well. He's been talking about free technical and vocational education as well. He has also been talking about the NDC free primary healthcare program. He says if the NDC is elected into power, they will implement the free healthcare program that will allow people to visit any hospital, district hospital, the status of a district hospital, and below people can go with the Ghana card and then access the medical healthcare. He has also been rechanging the NDC promise on senior school education. I'm sorry, will abolish the fee.
Unfortunately, we have
senior high school.
All right.
He said that to
Maxwell Agbaba is embedded with former President John Mahama's team there. We do apologize for the poor line there. Let's turn our attention on Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has said the NDC, led by its flag bearer John Mahama, fought the implementation of the free senior high school by going to the Supreme Court to stop it. He said they started fighting the implementation from the moment the policy was announced by the then candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo. The Vice President said this on day one of his campaign tour of the 4 constituencies in the capital, Northern Regional Capital, Tamale.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was in the region for a one-day tour of the 4 constituencies in the capital, Tamale. He took turns to address rallies at the Sanergu, Tamale North and Tamale South constituencies. He also visited some mosques and paid a courtesy call on the Chief of Zongo. At the home of the Chief of Zongo, Shehu Abdul Mumin Dalho, the chief praised the NPP for the Cuban medical scholarship for Zongo students.
We have the Zongo Development, Zongo Ministry, Zongo Development Fund, taking care of the development of our Zongo in the whole country. You have given Muslims in the country our identity, and we are proud of that. We were able to solicit to get scholarships for the Zongo youth to go for medicine in Cuba. This is something highly historic, very great. And the first batch of the Zongo youth have already been there, and they are going on with their studies. And this will continue for 10 years. 40 young ones from Zongo will be going to Cuba for medicine. This tells us as people of Zongo that very soon we'll be having our own doctors from Zongo with us.
At a rally at the Tamale South constituency, the Vice President told the gathering that the NDC marshaled its supporters on a demonstration to stop the implementation of the free senior high school.
When Nanado promised to implement the free senior high school policy, the NDC said we were lying. They said it was a scam. John Mahama even said if he had 2 million Ghana cedis, he wouldn't use it for free senior high schools. When we started the process of implementing the free senior high school, the NDC embarked on a series of demonstrations and even went to the Supreme Court to stop the free SHS, and they were stopped by the courts. The president insisted, saying he knew the importance of free senior high school. Today, after its implementation, school fees is free, we get uniforms for free, and feeding is free.
The vice president also addressed a rally at the Sanergo constituency, where he charged the people to vote of parliament who will bring development and not one who will spend time in parliament drinking tea and giving proverbs.
Martina Bugri's report there. Let's stay on the campaign trail, specifically with the MPP. And Elton Brobe is with President Akufo-Addo's team. He joins us via Zoom for an update on the president's campaign. Elton, we do know that the president is in the Ashanti region, his home base. What has he been telling the people there? Hello, Elton, if you can hear me, bring us up to speed on President Akufo-Addo's campaign in the Ashanti region. We understand he's in the Offenso constituency now.
Talking about the fact that we are in the Offenso South constituency at the moment. We were some few minutes ago at the Offenso North, where President Akufo-Addo commissioned the newly constructed offices of the EBLA and then held a mini rally at the Offenso LA School Park, where he addressed the gathering. It looks like the message now is to get the people to count their numbers to vote on election day. Because according to President Akufo-Addo, he can only win. He can only become president again for the second time if he's voted for. And that the only way he can get the needed votes is for the electors to go all out with their numbers on election day, vote and give the MPP the victory that it deserves, alongside voting for the parliamentary candidates of that particular area. So that has been the message. Earlier, before embarking on that trip to the Offenso area, the president spoke to a local media station here in Kumasi, where he was asked about why he's been frequenting the Ashanti region in the last few months. And his response was that the MPP's base is in the Ashanti region. And for that region, for the party to be able to achieve its targets of winning 85% of the popular vote and also win all the 47 seats available in the region, there's a need for him to come over, rejuvenate the base, tell them to go out and vote that it is not over until it's over. That is the reason why he's in the Ashanti region.
Right.
The party says that they have what it takes. They have put in place all the necessary measures to rally behind their supporters to go out and vote. And appears to be the main message President Akufo-Addo is telling now, beyond the fact that he's done so well in his first term, and he gave another term.
All right, many thanks. Elton Brobe is with the president's team, bringing us that update from the president's campaign. He's in Offenso South now, and he's been rejuvenating the party base to go out there and vote. Now, during election season, it's not uncommon to hear some men of God predicting who will emerge victorious after the polls. God, they say, speaks to them directly on the outcomes of the elections. But who do you believe when God's supposed message to these prophets are conflicting? Later tonight on the JoyNews channel, my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson seeks to find that out in the latest Hotline documentary, The Politics of Prophecies. Here are excerpts.
You use school fees there to be electricity, no, they are young. Now let's go into the election. This is what will happen. This election, the one that will get the winner will not ascend to power. I'm going to repeat it. If some people do not intensify their prayer and organize their things well, they win the election anyway. But they are not going to ascend to power.
I'm the flag bearer of the major opposition party in Ghana.
Who is Kufo? Is my younger brother. He's after me. I said, go and tell him that is going to be the president. The current president, which is JJ, is going to leave the keys of the nation to him.
He looked at me for some time, smiled, and said, I don't see it that way. I can see three different
elections ahead of you, and that the results are going to be declared in January.
Nobody can convince me that the hand of God was not in those elections. Nobody.
Na me unsa ego kese bi esi o man Ghana so na me President John Evans Atanos na me unsa no gina ba bi kasa bebren na me unsa ego no etuye na me unsa NDC MPs bebren eluso o se Ghana for Bindimo Jambo so.
I was one of those people. I just knew another will come to power. He will win. He'll be the president. And so when NPP people come to me, I said, "Oh, Nanado will win."
The NDC man will win. Others say the MPP man will win. And then the ordinary man now tells us that, Bishop, is God confused?
Why is God giving conflicting messages to different prophets about the outcome of an election? Here is the question I seek to find an answer for in this documentary, The Politics of Prophecies.
Be sure to tune in at 8:30 p.m. here on this channel, the JoyNews channel. That's The Politics of Prophecies. Promises to be exciting. Don't miss it. That's our show for today. Join us same time tomorrow. I'm Barbara Kumson. The Pulse with Gifty Ando Apia comes up at 3 p.m.